Oh my gosh. If I was in that crowd, I think I'd either be crying or like somewhere off to the side just dancing barefoot. Just like crazy lady at 5 o'clock. Oh my goodness, you guys, this brings me so much joy. Hey everybody, welcome back. It's time for another ride on our World Music Reaction channel, the place where we dive into music and psychology and are on these epic rides around the globe. Today we're going to check out another song by Eivør Pálsdóttir and her song Tròdlabùndin. I hope I'm saying it okay. Tròdlabùndin. And this is a song that has over 9 million views. The beautiful Eivør Pálsdóttir is a singer and a songwriter, and she is a Faroese singer-songwriter and actress. And I reacted to one of her songs recently. So her music was a big part of the show The Last Kingdom. Today's shout out goes to FOG, the friendly old guy. Thank you for the suggestion. And here we go. Without further ado, like, share, subscribe. Let's dive straight in. Oh, this is going to be epic.
Tròdlabùndin gjøgtøy mine sa Oi mine sa Oi hjertanum loar brenna.
Guys, I have goosebumps. I'm gonna start over. Oh my goodness. Oh, the drums, the beautiful landscape. I don't know where this is taking place. In Norway. Ireland in Norway. I think this is taking place in Norway. Oh, you guys, I have goosebumps. I have goosebumps. Her voice, that slight yodel, the clarity of her voice. Oh, let me start over. This is beautiful.
Tròdlabùndin galdramavur festi
No. Oh, I love her. Freaking epic. Oh my gosh. If I was in that crowd, I think I'd either be crying or like somewhere off to the side just dancing barefoot. Just like crazy lady at 5 o'clock. Oh my goodness, you guys, this brings me so much joy. I could cry, I could laugh. Where do I begin? Don't go yet. We got to talk for a second. The goosebumps, the emotion that this evokes, the beautiful scenery, that lake, river behind them, the beautiful language. I think she's singing in Faroese. I'm looking up translations, and we'll talk about the lyrics in just a second, but I'm seeing things like spellbound I am. The wizard has enchanted me. I'm bound deeply in my soul. My heart burns a sizzling fire. Those are what I think the lyrics are saying. And then it goes back and it repeats. And it fits very well to this song. Obviously, it's mesmerizing. And then the chanting. You guys, I know many of you, you have your go-tos when it comes to vocal coaches and those experts in that regard. I know someone like the Charismatic Voice, and those channels will be perfect to explain in technical terms all the things you was just doing. So this channel, as you know, is about music and psychology, so a lot of times I want to talk about the impact that this music and the lyrics have on us. We'll go into some of the music as well, but I recommend some of those channels for the technical terms when it comes to vocal coach. I'm a singer-songwriter. I'm not a vocal coach, but I have a master's in counseling psychology. I'm a singer-songwriter. I've released EPs and albums and singles, and I love music, and I love psychology and encouraging others. So that's what this channel is for. So let's talk about it for a second before we finish for today. The way that she was vocalizing, switching from the guttural in the what I believe would be the back of her throat to that airiness, that whistle tone is impressive. I feel like that requires just a lot of technical expertise and knowledge to be able to do that switch. The way she could chant those high notes with such clarity and precision to then go into that, for lack of a better word, beatboxing, guttural, throat art. Throat art sounds really weird, but like it's just phenomenal, technically so accurate, clear, crisp. The emotion that this chanting evoked, not only the lyrical singing, but her vocalization, the chanting. Oh my goodness, along with the drums and that tribal element, for lack of a better word, I don't even know if I should use the word tribal, that native, cultural, beautiful element that the drums bring in. in beat. What was neat is as the loop was going, right? Because what she first did at first, she looped and that kept playing as she then layered and sang on top of that and added a different rhythm. At one point, it could have almost felt like it was going against each other, like it was out of sync. But I feel, just learning a little bit about her and what talent she is, I think that is on purpose. And I think there's something so beautiful about music and art when things are done that surprise us and that can't be boxed in, right? Where we may think, oh, something needs to be la 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 la, right? Or a beat needs to be straightforward the whole time and in sync. When you have, and that's why one of the reasons I love artists like, what's his face? Now I can't even think of his name right now. Hakuna Matata. Dang it, I can't think of his name. That's why I love artists that really express themselves and emotion with music in such a unique way that it's just so artistic. So as this first beat, rhythm, and vocalization, singing was looping, gave an element of rawness. It wasn't all perfectly synced the way we'd expect. And this unexpected complementation, the way that the beat and her adding her vocalization on top, the way that it was complementing and working together with a slight delay, to me, created just a feeling of rawness. The way that I would imagine people coming, the Vikings and the tribes and the Scandinavians and the Germanic people and the Norwegian and the Swedish and the people of Finland and Denmark and you name it, all these beautiful nations over the course of history. I imagine the tribes coming together and in their own language, in their own respective way, right, chanting when they come together around the fire or celebrating or mourning or getting ready for a battle. Whatever life they were living, these were real people experiencing life. And when you have music, it's beyond entertainment. It would be easy to think in our day and age, music is just entertainment. It's meant to make me feel good and happy. But music is art. Music is a way to communicate. Music is a way to process our grief and our joy. It's a way to speak to one another. It's a way to put in words the things we can't, sometimes even without words. Sometimes music that has no lyrics can convey a message. And yes, it'll be received a little differently by you than by me. But that's what makes it so universal and powerful and spiritual. The way that she presented this, it made it raw and real. The way I would imagine the tribes and people coming together singing, like I said, mourning, grieving, preparing for battle, where it's not all perfectly synced up, even rhythmically. And it was well done and it flowed. And then it morphed from a slight delay rhythmically to suddenly being back in sync. That too, psychologically, is just so fitting to what humanity and relationships and life is about. And while the lyrics, from what I'm seeing, talk about being enchanted and mesmerized, I feel when we are in a place where we are so mesmerized, the way this music touched me, you can see that transition, right? You can see things going from being out of sync, or so we would think, to back in sync and flowing. That's how relationships are. That's how humanity is as we evolve. That's how we people are as individuals. And I think one of the beautiful things about artists like her that are not mainstream on the radio, such a powerful reminder of the art and the beauty that is music, the emotion it can evoke in us, and to remember not to be boxed in by what we would think the world is about when we look at the news or social media. So much gets lost in translation, but life is so much more raw. Emotions and the way things flow, relationships, the way we perceive one another, the life we live, it's so fleeting, you guys. There's so much beauty in this world and it's worth living. So if you're depressed today, or anxious or downcast, or you feel small, or something didn't work out for you, a relationship or a job situation, or you feel alone, you're seen, you're loved. Life is worth living. Go get some fresh air. Sit near a body of water if you can. Use your senses to feel, touch, and smell. Play this on repeat if you have to, and just close your eyes and feel the music and come alive in this beautiful life we've been given. It was beautiful. And then the chanting, the vocalization, like I said, that guttural and the airy whistle, the way that she built, the joy and humility she has. I mean, talk about a gorgeous woman. Oh my goodness. I mean, just to me, that throws out of the water anyone who thinks they need to uphold their beauty through tons of makeup and surgery. To me, this is beauty at its finest, musically, physically even, like just beautiful and natural and sweet and Hakuna Matata. I know I'm like dreaming. And then the drums, the way they kicked in, gave it that final climax, and I flippin' loved it. The lyrics, my heart burns a sizzling fire, and it talks about being enchanted. the meaning behind it, I think that I'm not sure what she meant by it. I think there would be different ways to interpret that, right? To reflect on, you know, being mesmerized by something when it comes to love, a relationship, by God, when it comes to faith, by, in this case, she was talking about some witch doctor or somebody, you know, some enchanting. I'm not sure what she or the songwriter meant by the song, but it just sounded so beautiful. And one last thing, just seeing how beautiful this composition was, to me, is such a powerful reminder for all of us of how much culture and life there is. And it's, to me, such a powerful counter argument to those who want to stake claim in just one type of music or one type of vibe, right? We live in a world where, if we're not careful, at least it would appear in the West, where people get lost in debates and arguments fighting over what belongs to who, right? Or you might have someone of light, fair skin, you know, on the drums, partaking in, for lack of a better word, tribal music, right? Something ancient, native, or folklore. And if we're not careful, it would be easy to be ignorant, or to fall prey to ignorant arguments that say, oh, you know, that's appropriations being stolen from Native Americans or African culture. The world is such a big place. And when we look at Norwegian and Faroese and Denmark and Swedish and Danish and Germanic and all these different tribes, Europe and Africa, around the world, we're all morphing, and one nation influences the other. Some believe it all started in Africa or Ethiopia. You know, like, we never know where exactly it all started, but you see these different influences, and tribal aspects, ancient aspects, folklore, beautiful cultural elements are just as much prevalent in countries like this, where there's, you know, primary fair-skinned people now. They're just as much prevalent as we find in Hispanic culture and in Latin America, in Native American culture and African cultures. And I think we shoot ourselves in the foot, and we miss the point when we're busy fighting about who's who and what belongs to who, and we don't realize, no, we all, the world is a pretty big place, and these influences come from all kinds of places, and it's not just, you know, one belongs to one nation or one origin. It's just so beautiful, so beautiful. What did you think? I may have missed things. Let me know in the comments below. As always, like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next ride. Heyo!